Hello, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. Happy Wednesday. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. My clients are literally all throughout the United States. Many of them are international also. Um, and we help them with all sorts of immigration cases. So, this is an opportunity for you to ask your immigration questions. You can ask them live right now, and I can answer them for you. Obviously, since we're streaming on multiple platforms and there are different people joining, anything that I tell you is just kind of general information, and it's not confidential. We can't create an attorney-client relationship through this forum, but hopefully, it can be something that can answer those kind of burning immigration questions that you could ask a lawyer, right? Because immigration, as we all know, can be very, very confusing, sometimes really hard to navigate. And hopefully, this is an opportunity for you to kind of ask your questions and have a lawyer answer them if you're not ready to schedule a consultation yet. Or you might not need a consultation. If you do want a consultation, you can call our office. We're at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. If you're just joining us, if you've never joined us before, we do our consultations by phone and by Zoom. My preference is Zoom just because I like to show documents to kind of walk you through the steps, and then I get to see you. It's kind of the closest thing to in-person, especially if you're not located in the area. But again, I'm happy to do them also by phone. We do them all the time, either method. And then, of course, I have some people that like to visit me in the office, and I'm back in the office, as you can see. We're back in the office, and we're able to meet with you in person if that is your preference as well. Oops, I forgot to put our little banners up. Here they are. If you're joining me on Facebook. If you're joining us on Facebook or TikTok, make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok. That's when you can see essentially when I go live, and then you can hop in and ask your one-off immigration questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, great. So let me start off with a question that I get. Some people call me, actually many people call me, and here are my thoughts on this. I want to talk today about fiancé visas. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with them, I want to talk about fiancé visas and how that works. All right. Hi, Brian. Thank you for joining. Fiancé visas, right? So only U.S. citizens in the U.S. that are living in the U.S. can sponsor a fiancé visa. All right, and many people don't know that. So some people think that green card holders can bring in their fiancés. No. So only U.S. citizens can sponsor a fiancé from abroad, right? And even the fiancé has to be abroad. They can't really be here in the U.S. For this. It just traditionally, that's how it works. So essentially, you're sponsoring your fiancé to come into the U.S. to be able to get married. Okay, so somebody called me the other day, and they're saying, oh, I watched the 90-day fiancé, and I want to bring my fiancé, and I want to bring them in 90 days. So ideally, that would be awesome. But clearly, hey, Corey, nice to see you. I'm glad. Corey says, hello, Pratibha, love your videos. Thank you. We have a lot of them. And hopefully this is a good opportunity for you guys to learn some burning immigration questions, but also learn about immigration law. Okay, so I had this client call me, and he says to me, I want to get my fiancé here in 90 days, right? I want to get my fiancé here in 90 days. So that's completely kind of ridiculous and a misnomer, because the immigration process takes a really long time. A fiancé visa is not super fast. It involves several different steps. So to even start off, to qualify, you have to be a U.S. citizen, and then you have to sponsor someone from abroad that is your fiancé, that you're engaged to, okay, that you want to marry and bring to the U.S. So the whole idea is that you can bring this fiancé here to the U.S., and then you have to get married within 90 days and apply for that person's green card. All right, the green card process is slightly abbreviated if you're bringing in your fiancé. So that's the idea. You're bringing in your fiancé and sponsoring them. You have to get married within 90 days after they enter. but even to bring them in is kind of a cumbersome process. So the first thing that happens is you have to show, one, that you're engaged, that you're in a relationship, and that you have seen each other in the last 2 years. You have been in each other's physical presence in the last 2 years. Of course, there are some exceptions based on culture and religion, and we'll go into that in detail if you want to schedule a consultation, if you might qualify for one of these exceptions. But generally, you you have to have seen each other. You have to be in each other's physical presence within the last 2 years, at least once within the last 2 years. So then we're looking at things like flight itineraries, hotel reservations, statements, of course, from you and your fiance about how you entered into the relationship, how you intend to get married within 90 days of your fiance entering, and also the different times you've seen each other in the last 2 years. Okay? So that's what you're looking at when you're thinking about fiance visas. So that's to qualify. So that is an application to USCIS. So essentially that's an application to USCIS, and that application it's currently taking about 9 months, at least that's what we're seeing, to get approved, right? So once that's approved, doesn't mean your fiance can come in. No, it does not mean your fiance can come in. This is why it's a really long process, and it's way more than 90 days, way more than 90 days. Okay, so the 90-day fiance thing, it's not how it seems to be. So I'm just explaining it to you guys, right? Because immigration is complicated and it takes a long time. Okay, so once that's approved, then the fiance who's abroad has to have an interview with the embassy abroad, and then the embassy provides a visa stamp which is valid for a few months. And the fiance can then come into the U.S. and has to get married within 90 days of entry. All right, that's where that whole 90-day fiance thing even comes from. So once they come in, you guys have to get married within 90 days to keep your fiance in status. And then file for a green card, a spousal green card. Okay, I am not a fan of the fiance visa because of this whole cumbersome process. If it's possible to just get married abroad and then sponsor your fiance, I would think that would be, time-wise, that appears to be about the same time frame as the fiance visa, at least in my experience so far. So my recommendation is, if you can just get married abroad, get married, and then the U.S. citizen or green card holder can then sponsor for a green card and come in as a green card holder, right? Because what happens when you come in as a green card holder? When you come in as a green card holder, no matter how you get that green card. So you could have gotten that green card from marriage. You could have gotten it, maybe your parents sponsored you, or you are the parent that's sponsored by the child, right? You could have received it based on employment. So there's different ways to get a green card. But once you get that green card stamp and you come into the U.S., you can work. You can come in and out of the country as much as you want, right? Obviously, COVID can cause some issues with that, but generally that's the rule. You can come into the country as much as you want. So really, I personally think that it's better to get married and come in married as a green card holder than to apply for a fiance visa, right? Other people might have different opinions, but that's my opinion based on the time frame that I'm seeing and the benefits that you get as a green card holder. All right, if you have questions on the fiance visa, feel free to type them in here. If you want to call us for a consultation, I would love to chat with you about it. I can go through the steps with you and the time frame and the costs and all of that. And I'd be happy to chat with you about that. So our consultations, as I mentioned, are by phone or by Zoom. Again, I'm an immigration attorney. I only handle immigration-related questions, and I'd be happy to schedule some time with you one-on-one for a consultation if you would like. Okay? Again, you can reach us for a consult at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. So that was my question for the day that I wanted to share with you because it comes up a lot and I just want you to have the information. Okay, so some of you are just funny. Okay, so Kamarik says, why can't people find someone in this country? Well, Kamarik, I wish we could always, it would be much less complicated if you could find someone in this country, right? If you got engaged to someone in this country, it would be far less complicated. But love is love, my friend. I don't know what to tell you. Um, Mid City says if they are here on a tourist visa and you all have a spontaneous wedding, they can stay during the process. Yes, Mid City Gang. That's something. So let's say somebody comes in. So someone is a foreign national. They're visiting the U.S. Right. So they're your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and they're just visiting you. And you decide, hopefully sometime after they enter, you decide that you want to get married, that you want this person to stay here, that you're in love with them, that you want to start a life together with them. You can file for a green card. Even though they were on the tourist visa, you can file for a green card. But the important thing to remember is that when you enter on a tourist visa, you're making a statement, right? You're making a statement that that you're entering the United States with the intention to leave. So when you enter on a tourist visa, that is, you're telling the government, I am coming in and I intend to leave. Okay? So that's what you're telling. That's what you're telling the government. So when you come in and you get married, if you get married immediately, that doesn't look good to the government. It makes them think that you were lying, you were misrepresenting, and then it'll be on you to prove to the government that you weren't lying or misrepresenting. Okay? So that's what. Sorry, can you see me here? So that's what we'll be showing. That's the showing that we would be making. Okay, so essentially you run a risk if you come in on a tourist visa and then you immediately get married or you immediately apply for a green card, it could be problematic. But it doesn't mean always that you can't do it, right? If you did come in with the intention to leave and then something happened, maybe a medical emergency or maybe your fiance or your boyfriend, hurt themselves, and you're here and you're the only one that can be here to take care of them, right? Or let's say you lost your job abroad and then you decided, you know what, I do want to stay here, we do want to live together, we do want to get married. There's so many different reasons where you might change your mind, and that is okay. It's definitely okay. It's just that I would suggest you should talk to an attorney to make sure that you can come back, you can respond to the government's questions on misrepresentation, right? Because they might be looking into that depending on how soon after you entered your circumstances changed. Okay, so give us a call if you'd like a consultation on applying for a green card in the U.S., applying for a green card from abroad, or if you want to find out more about the fiancé visa. We handle all of these types of cases, and I would love to chat with you more. You can give me a call at 703-348-1663. Yes. Oh, Mid-City said, I know this for a fact. Yes, absolutely, Mid-City. It is a fact. You can process if you enter on a tourist visa and then you decide to get married. Yes, absolutely. You can process your green card. Okay. Another question that I got today was, I want a work permit. I don't want a green card, but I just want a work permit. Can you help me get a work permit? All right. So this is the thing, my friends. You can't just apply for a work permit. I wish you could, but you can't just apply independently for a work permit. It has to be based on something else. So if you have a certain kind of status, you might be eligible for a work permit. So the work permit, you have to think of it as not independent, right? It's not independent. It's not something that just happens on its own. You kind of have to think of it as something that's tied to another immigration application or another immigration benefit. Okay, so one of the ways you can apply for a work permit is if you have a pending green card application, right? If you have applied for a green card and the green card process can take a couple of years sometimes. I know it's daunting, but it can take a couple of years. All right. So if the green card process takes a couple of years, people that are here waiting for a decision on their green card, it means that they can't work, right? Most of the time you can't work without authorization. So, I mean, all the time you can't work without authorization, but sometimes you can work without a work permit. But I'm not going to get into all of those details right now. So you are issued a work permit based on the fact that you have a pending green card application. So let's say that green card application gets denied. If it gets denied, then your work permit is also invalid, right? It might have an expiration date that's far far off into the future, but let's say your green card application gets denied, it wasn't prepared properly, it was rejected for some reason, then your work permit is also invalid. Okay, so you can't just, so it's tied to your green card application. You can't just say, hey, I want a work permit, I'll worry about the green card later. Yeah, but it depends on how you're qualifying for this work permit. Other people also qualify for work authorization. For example, people that qualify for DACA, right? They qualify for work permit. People that are victims of abuse, for example, they're victims of abuse. Maybe they're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. They might qualify for a work permit if the government has already found that they are victims of abuse, they were married to a U.S. citizens or green card holders. They're allowed to live here forever, and they're allowed to have work authorization forever. Okay, so there's different ways to qualify. If you are wondering if you qualify, call us. We're at 703-348-1663. All right, here's what am I seeing here? Okay. Someone says, Karmark says, you said love happens, but a judge won't believe it. Well, if love happens abroad, my friend, if love happens abroad and you were engaged to the person and you qualify for a fiance visa, you can sponsor them for a fiance visa. Poonam is saying, how much do you charge calling for an advice? Yeah, absolutely. We do schedule consultations. They're 30 minutes. We schedule them for 30 minutes. If they go over, sometimes they go over. Today's was, I had one that was over an hour. I don't necessarily put a time limit on it. However, we do schedule them for a 30-minute block, and they're done by phone or by Zoom. We charge $150 for the consultation. So you can ask all of your questions. We usually walk through the process. We can assess all of your options in terms of how you might be able to get work permit. If you have complicated questions, we could assess that as well and give you a plan to move forward either on your own or with our firm if you want. Okay. MV Patel is saying, in a U visa, do I need physically evaluation? I think maybe you might be saying a psychological evaluation. We do actually submit a psychological evaluation for a U visa, but you do not. It's not a requirement, right? You can apply without that as well. All right. All right. I don't know, Kamarik, your company, he's saying his company paid $600 for 20 minutes. I'm not sure. We charge $150 for 30 minutes. Okay. And again, we also advise on employment-based immigration. If you need advice on that, we do that all the time. Hey, Sunny, nice to see you. Sunny says hi. He's on Facebook with me here. Well, great. It's so nice to see so many of you join me. If you have questions, if you want to have a confidential consultation, I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based in Arlington, Virginia. Again, as I mentioned, my clients are all throughout the United States, and we handle literally every kind of immigration that you can imagine. We do employment-based immigration, family-based, and humanitarian cases also. So if you have an immigration question, I'd be happy to answer it for you. Call us 703-348-1663. Thank you so much. So nice to see everyone here. Karmik, you're so funny, Karmik. He's saying, do you travel too? Yes, I travel for the interviews. I actually represent my clients at the interviews. Hi, Makarlema. I'm sorry, I'm probably Makarlem. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Hi, thank you so much for joining. All right, great. Yeah, I do show up in person. Karmik is asking, do you show up in person? Yes, I show up in person for the interviews when I represent the client. Yes, absolutely. All right. Thanks, everyone, and thank you for joining. If you don't like us already on Facebook, make sure you like us on Facebook. We're at Agarwal Immigration, and then on TikTok, again, we're also Agarwal Immigration is our handle, AGARWAL. Make sure you follow us, and hopefully I can answer your questions. Makarlem, if you have a question, I know you have a question. If you want to put it in, go ahead. I'll answer it right before I hop off, but I'm just about to head out. I will be back on tomorrow, and I can answer your question then. Okay, or just message us, and we're happy to. You can DM us, and I'm happy to look into your question at that point too. All right. Okay, if you don't already like us or follow us, make sure you do that so you can ask all your questions. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining. I will see you very soon. Bye.